You know, so people always complain about like how food always too greasy, one drill for oil. If you thought your mother-in-law's peas and rice was oily, wait till you go fishing. World news. The world is on fire, don't go outside. Everything's on fire, stay in your house. So last week's biggest international story was the angry mob of thugs attacking the Capitol in Washington, D.C. in an attempt to keep Donald Trump in the office of the president through a show of terrifying force. If only there was like a name for people who use terror to get their point across, like a terrorer, a terror ship, terrament. No, wait, that's not it. I know what you're thinking. This sounds very much like a war problem. But lo and behold, amongst the people waving Confederate and Blue Line flags was this gentleman. In the moment that he realizes, oh, this is a mistake. Like, honestly, if I was him, I was going to the police and I was going to identify everybody who was there. Listen, dog, tell them you was on a field trip and you get separated from your class. They kidnapped me. I was about to sacrifice me like the purge, but I escaped. These dudes that was giving away like free hats. Yes, I know. White people do not have the monopoly on white nationalism. Don't tell them. But I just want to believe the best for my brother. Maybe from like the Caribbean, right? And like all he heard was them say that things about to get broke up. And he was like, oh, maybe it's a soca party.
Pick up something, anything. From tell me to grab something, anything. I just want to pick up something, anything.
Or like maybe he was a Bahamian and then he had like things about to get mashed up and he thought it was a backyard party.
Hi! Yeah! Time to scull it!
Why are all of our words for fun so destructive? Is it because on some subconscious level we know that the capitalist systems that have been built around us and that we participate in every day are harmful, oppressive structures that need to be dismantled, and in times of celebration and brief escape, we unconsciously call our freedom acts of destruction? Or it's a coincidence. I don't know, whatever. And now, local news. The government's on fire. Don't go outside. Everything's on fire. Stay in your house. Murder. Positive news. Okay. The results of the BJC and BGCSE exams were released recently, and they were not the best. However, in the words of Evelyn Sawyer, the Assistant Director of Education.
And so we really do not need to look at what, the grades that the children got, but we have to look at the resilience of our children and what they were able to accomplish.
That's it. Don't look at the grades. Look at the evidence of what they were able to accomplish. Only there were a way to measure accomplishments, maybe like a scale to assess and evaluate students' performances. But what would you call that? Lost for words again. 6% of the students in 2020 got a C or higher, which is down from 11% the prior year, which, if you remember, 6 is less than 11. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like I didn't personally contribute to the D average when I took the BGCSE, but that don't mean that I want newer students to do worse than we did. So what did the Minister of Education have to say?
Across the education system, in both independent and government schools, students achieve grades ranging from A to G, all markers of positive achievement.
What is Jeff talking about? A to G grades are markers of positive achievement? Could you imagine going to the food store and they don't sell any grade A beef? They don't even sell grade C beef or even grade D. Yeah, but this grade G. Is that even a cow? Doesn't the G grade mean that your paper was graded? I mean, that's the bare minimum. Yes, if you get 1%, that's technically a positive number. But I mean, 1% out of 100% is not a very positive number. Jeff is my boy, right? But every grade can be a good grade. All of them from A to G, that's like when you say you love all of your children equally. But you know, Abishai is your favorite. The other two, I mean, as long as they don't get pregnant, whatever. But I remind you, that's not positive achievement. That's just showing up. Okay, you know what? I'm looking at this wrong. Maybe Jeff is like a motivational speaker or a pastor. I mean, he used to be a deacon, right? So like, what he's actually saying to us is that I came by church to tell you during this particular dispensation, once you show up, God is gonna make it possible. You ain't heard me, church. I'm saying it don't matter what grade they assign to you, A, B, C, D, E, F, or G. Once you show up, it's a positive. Another interesting story from last week was the Attorney General Carl Bethel responding to the possibility of the government fulfilling their campaign promise of dealing with electoral reform, which would be things like term limits for the Prime Minister, an election date, a recall system for worthless garbage MPs. And his response was, "It is senseless to bring forth a bill just because you promised it." There were words before and after that, but nothing that would make that piece make sense. The AG says it's not sensible to expect them to make laws that they promised. Cool. Hold on a second. Hey, yeah, Chester? Yeah, no, I know what you should put on the shirts. No, I don't need to talk to Brave. No, don't put me on the phone with him. Hey, Phil, what's going on? Everything good? Phil, you ever thought maybe this boat could go without you? By this time, you and I and everybody in the country hates COVID. Perhaps more than we hate getting a phone call from the guy that you took the one math class with in college and he failed horribly, but now years later he keeps trying to get you to sign up for this new business venture that he swears it's a sure thing because it's like Bitcoin, except it's called Itcoin. And now you have to pretend as though you're getting bad cell phone service from BTC, but you actually just hung up on him. Damn you, BTC. They have okay packages. But despite the hate for the virus, not everybody knows how to stop the spread of the virus. You gotta stay away from people that you don't live with. And I know what you're thinking. Nobody in my house know how to cook, because only me live in my house. And I don't know how to cook. So yes, you kind of have to go out to places like food stores and fast food restaurants, and then to banks to pay for all of it. When you're at these places, it's important to follow the distance markers on the ground. But what do you do if you're not in a place with predetermined distance markers? Keep at least 6 feet away from anyone who doesn't live with you. Of course, judging by how many babies have been created since COVID began, you guys clearly don't know how much 6 feet is, or are well endowed. I have a great rule of thumb. If you don't have a handy tape measurement, all you need is a car. And I'm talking about a real car, not a Paso or a Cube. We're talking about a Honda Accord.
Are you ready?
It ain't really a Honda Accord, it's a Honda Stream. We had budget cuts. From mirror to mirror is about 6 feet. So the next time you're around a person that you don't live with, ask yourself the question, could a Honda drive between us? If the answer is no, then you need to reverse back. Reverse back. Did you wake up this morning and take a look at your body, and think, I'd like to reduce that by 2 Audis. Then perhaps check out Bowflex Barbie. I mean, now that the holidays are over, we are all slowly emerging from our quarantine hiding place. And it is the perfect time to tighten up on places that may have loosened themselves up during this. Email Dekel at bowflexbarbie.com for more info on her personal training, virtual group fitness, and online coaching. So, only me Bonner last week, Friday, when Facebook sent me a notification saying that the office of the Prime Minister is live. Nah, you don't need to have no press conference at the beginning of a 3-day weekend. I remember what that means. We don't need that. Luckily, it was just the Ministry of Health trying to push this vaccine on us. It ain't reached yet, so, But you know what? Generally speaking, I think I'm ready. Can I miss 2 Junkanoo seasons back to back? Probably. I missed 18. But what about not knowing what's in the vaccine? I'm glad that hypothetical Stephen asked that question. I would like to present a new segment called Not Knowing Never Killed Stephen Before. So let's talk about random bits of things that are in things that we put inside our bodies all the time. Sodium nitrate, linked to the increased risk of cancer, is what makes corned beef pink. Gelatin, sourced from the collagen of dead animals like pigs, is how we get Jell-O. Because of the addition to anchovies, Guinness is not vegan. And remember those little raspberry flavored blue juices that we used to buy for 50 cents when we was children? You ever had a real raspberry? You ever wonder why they don't taste the same? The natural flavor that they derive that from is from the anal glands of beavers. Yes, you heard what I said. And that's just the processed things. You realize that most things that we consume are poisonous, right? Raw flour is poisonous. Tomato plants have cyanide. Chocolate and caffeine are toxic. It's just that most people don't consume enough to kill them. Literally, almost every means of preserving food besides refrigeration is carcinogenic. Carcinogenic? It causes cancer. So that's frying, smoking, salting, all of it. All I'm saying is, we didn't do it all this time. It never killed me. Of course, then again, you find out and then you're just stuck eating mackerel for the rest of your life. If taking this vaccine in a month or 2 means that when I start sweating, I don't have to figure out if the AC stopped working or if I need to get my house in order, I'm open to it. Honestly, anybody who's eat barracuda and afraid to get the vaccine, I'm really questioning.
Why?
Okay, so some of you guys know that my birthday was recent, and to celebrate it next week, you have a choice. I can either release a single solitary rap song about what some people consider to be a plague on this country, or a book. So feel free to comment on which of those you would prefer below. Also, as always, if you want to show your appreciation, you can buy me a cup of coffee on Ko-fi, or you can go like our various pages on various platforms, or you can share this video as many places as humanly possible, or you can do all of the above. Thank you.